Hello there and welcome to Football on 5, where over the next 90 minutes we'll bring you all the action from the 35 matches played so far this weekend in the EFL.
And 3 of those fixtures have seen a trio of big managerial beasts mark their return to the Championship jungle.
This city, a man who knows the path from Championship to Premier League better than anyone. McCormack looking for a domer. It's Kodja! Wow. Get the boogie. Down with the boogie. Get down. Fans are split. Most, though, are glad to see him back. This is Will Hughes. Rock Green was equal to it. Love him or not, he knows the way to the winner's podium when it comes to promotion. There goes Noon, driving at Bristol City and trying to find the bottom corner.
An amazing 2,683 professional club matches between the 3 of them. Not quite as many for one of our guests tonight, Kenny Jackett, who won 3 promotions with Swansea, Millwall and Wolves. And alongside him, Adam Virgo. Good to see you both.
Right, we'll start at Villa Park. And 9 years after leaving fierce rivals Birmingham City, the new Aston Villa manager Steve Bruce was given a warm welcome as he took charge of his first match, a local derby against West Midlands rivals Wolves. Commentary comes from Don Goodman and Daniel Mann.
This their 105th league meeting. The first was on the very first day of the Football League back in September 1888. A 1-1 draw at Wolves' Dudley Road ground. And clubs that have often been weighed down by the history. In Villa's case in particular here today, it's about trying to forge a bright future. Villa make progress with McCormack looking for Grealish here. Oh, now a decision to make. The decision is penalty.
Is that one of those accidental coming together of legs? He's the wrong side, and there's a little tangle of legs, isn't there? There's no intent really from Dominic Iorfa to make a challenge, but their feet clash. The referee has no option.
And accepting the responsibility after McCormack's failure from the spot last time out is Jonathan Kodja. And he's up to that responsibility. And the breakthrough comes for Aston Villa and Steve Bruce. Less than a quarter of an hour into the new era at Villa Park.
Well, it'll be a bit of a relief because they haven't set the world on fire so far, Aston Villa. But that is an exceptionally good penalty. It had to be. Carl Hakimi goes the right way, guesses right, but there's good accuracy, there's good power. And Brucey couldn't even watch, knew by the reaction.
He's making a little dart across. It's opened up the space for Helder Costa. What a heroic block by Sissoko, yes. But was it with his arm? It was. Yeah. And a penalty to Wolves at the Holt end.
Well, he looks dumbfounded, but I think in his heart, he knows, doesn't he? He dives with a block and the arm is in the air, and that is destined for the back of the net.
And it's Helder Costa who accepts the responsibility and takes it for Wolves. They are back on terms. Well, Steve Bruce couldn't look when his own team had a penalty. He certainly did not like the look of that one.
Well, if we thought Jonathan Kodja's penalty was excellent, I think this is even better. It is unstoppable. That's the only adjective I can give to that. Absolutely unstoppable.
Well, McCormack over the top looking for a domer. It's Kodja!
Wow. What a tremendous effort that is. And it's matched by a stunning save.
He's talked already of changing the mentality here. And those late frailties have been a big part of the Aston Villa story so far this season. Well, commitment is turning into something else here.
Unnecessary. Really, some of the players involved as well. Surprised was Ross McCormack came over and a real go at Connor Cody. this is the challenge. Jack Grealish is all over Connor Cody. I mean, and then he has a little a kick out, doesn't he, Jack Grealish? And that is the thing that is unspotted by the officials. I mean, that's petulant and naughty, isn't it, really?
It's a beautiful ball for Helder Costa. Cody flying up in support as well. Here he is. Caught by Chester.
It's another easy decision for David Coote here. Chester clearly catches him.
Helder Costa. Oh, away from Jedinak. Foot down hard on the gas here.
Well, so much of that was absolutely brilliant. It was almost like the ball got a little bit stuck under his feet at the vital moment. He should be perhaps aiming for that far corner from that angle.
Helder Costa there again. Beautifully away from Chester. Support from Bodvarsson. And Richards came in. Excellent. Richards came in, yeah. And the challenge, Wolves certainly felt, was worthy of a penalty.
Oh, here we go. I thought Helder Costa was going to shoot. He lays it. Oh no, well, that's a penalty. That is a stonewall penalty.
Oh, mistake by Elphick. And here's Onyongwe. Helder Costa enjoying themselves. Oh, beautifully done.
Well, he's had a strong start to the second half, Helder Costa, hasn't he? He's been at the heart of everything, and Wolves really are putting Villa on the back foot.
Helder Costa. Put it in early. Onyongwe is there! And he got there ahead, importantly, of Micah Richards, but couldn't find the target.
Well, they're living on the edge, Aston Villa again.
Oh! Away from Chester. Well, I thought he was going to get away.
That is controversial. James Chester already on a yellow card. Referee would have had to send him off, surely. There's the cut. It's blatant. That is a yellow card, and he's a lucky boy.
Here is Caballero. Chester away. Gets another chance pretty swiftly. And it's a potentially beautiful ball. Well, behind by Elphick this time.
Oh, what, but Tommy Elphick. That is a vital touch, isn't it? Nuadiko's eyes must have been lighting up behind Tommy Elphick.
Edwards gets there! And it's a Doma at the back before Bodvarsson could get on the end of it. Danny Bart penalised.
Dave Edwards gets ahead of his man Nuadiko. Look how close Nuadiko gets to heading this in. Oh, it's fractions. It's good goalkeeping, isn't it? And then good defending at the far post.
Again towards Bodvarsson. We've got up well. Dicko, Cody, Edwards on the charge. There he is. Oh, it might fall kindly to Caballero, and Alan Hutton crucially in the way. May have preserved the point for Aston Villa.
Misses his kick, goes through his legs, but how quickly he gets in behind his goalkeeper, gets back in and saves the day.
You know, I'm not going to give you any flannel, you know, you've got to try and hit the ground running. So it's always difficult in the Championship because we play again Tuesday and then we play again Saturday. So to implement what you want, it's obviously going to take a bit of time. It's fair to say that we're thankful that we've got a point because in the second half, Wolves were better than us.
I'm upset because we lost 2 points, especially for the decision in the second half. It's clear penalty. Clear penalty.
We'll discuss that in just a moment. First of all, guys, the 2 penalties that were given. Adam, what was your verdict on these 2?
Well, I think they're both the right decisions for me, and this was a good opportunity. And it's great to see that Grealish making those runs into the box, and he just gets goal side. And it's only a minor touch on his heel, but it's a certain penalty for me. It's good movement from McCormack as well. You don't really go down in that position.
Unintentional, but there is contact.
Yeah, exactly. And it was a good penalty from Jonathan Kodjia because he was under a lot of pressure there.
And this one, well, he unlaced it.
He did, and it's a clear handball. It's stopping the ball go towards in the goal. And I think the referee, again, twice has made good decisions. They're big games as well, these derby games, and sometimes the referee can be influenced. But this was an unbelievable penalty from Helder Costa, and he had an unbelievable game, and it was well taken from him.
Kenny, Steve Bruce very honest about Wolves being the better side in the second half. Would they have had cause for complaint as well? A couple of incidents in particular. We saw the penalty again, and here it is actually that this was not given.
Yeah, I think so. They have good cause for complaint as well. This is a definite penalty, and the referee's right in front of it.
Position perfect.
Yeah, he is, and hasn't given it. And definite pen for me, this one.
And they may as well have been reduced to 10 men after this. Lovely bit of skill. Already on a yellow card here as well, Chester.
Yeah, I was expecting the red card to come out on that one, and he's tripped him again. Good view. The leg's gone out there, and again, second yellow and a sending off.
So Zenga was very angry about that. Jack Grealish, was he a lucky boy?
Yeah, I think so. It's petulance at the most of it, and a sign of frustration, and he's gone through this period of transition where there's a lot of pressure on him. Big pressure games. Steve Bruce doesn't want this in his first game. He's going to be an important player for him, and you've seen players sent off for that. It's petulance, and for me, if the referee would have seen that, that'd have been a red card.
Now you've had a good chance to reflect on it, Kenny. How are you feeling now about your departure from Wolves?
Yeah, you know when clubs get taken over, what's likely to happen, and when it did, it wasn't a surprise. But what I would say is the people that I work for are very honest with me. Wolves is a great club, and I enjoyed my 3 years there.
Would it have worked for you to stay under the new owners? Would that have worked?
Of course, yeah. I would have undoubtedly given it a go because of the size and the potential of the club is massive. It's a terrific club, and as I said, 3 years was a good stint for me, and it's certainly a good stint in modern day management, and just now looking for the next challenge.
And finally on Wolves, you said when you left the foundations there were strong to get in the Premier League. How do you assess it a dozen games in?
Yeah, they've signed 12 players in 6 weeks, which shows great intention from the owners, and I don't think they'll stop there. They'll keep going. And looking at them today, they've played very well, and I think it's going to click for them.
Certainly looked good in that second half. OK, coming up next, looking to put the pressure on leaders Huddersfield. Both Newcastle and Norwich knew that 3 points would see them overtake the Terriers at the top of the Championship. Welcome back to Football on 5. Huddersfield, the Sky Bet Championship leaders at the start of the day, are not in action until Sunday's Yorkshire Derby against Sheffield Wednesday.
So today was a chance for Brighton to move within a point, while both Newcastle and Norwich could overtake them with a win.
It's all going rather well for Norwich, who just love playing at Carrow Road and currently look like a side destined for a swift return to the Premier League. Alex Pritchard marked his first home start with a crafty nutmeg, and there was Wes Hoolahan to provide the finish. Well, eventually. Well, that was Hoolahan's first goal since the opening day of the season. Cameron Jerome just can't stop scoring. He sent the Canaries into cruise control with his third in as many matches. That's 6 for the season now. Life is more difficult at the other end of the table for Rotherham, though, who will tell you decisions just don't go their way down there. Just ask John Taylor, who was adamant it wasn't offside. Mind you, the visitors did have something to celebrate thanks to substitute Dexter Blackstock. On the pitch for just 4 minutes, but making his presence felt and making life a little uncomfortable for the home side. But even though Norwich haven't kept a clean sheet for 2 months now, they're still scoring more than they concede. And although Stephen Naismith left it until the 89th minute to make the game safe, another 3 points were theirs.
A lot of the times the games are going to the last couple of minutes and we're having to dig in and sort of work really hard. So that'll probably be the one area where I think we can improve on. But listen, the bottom line is before the game you just want to win it. We did that, so we're pleased.
The last 3 games has been very tough. They've played 1, 2 and 3 in the table. But I must say, the performances in them games, they should take something out of them.
Newcastle's 3rd win in a row, with Jonjo Shelvey pulling the strings from midfield. Shelvey's cross here dropping invitingly for Kieran Clark to head in his 2nd goal of the season on 11 minutes. Rafa Benitez seems to have his side's confidence flowing at the moment, and 5 minutes later it was 2. Christian Atsu's shot blocked, but the informed Dwight Gale thumping home. Newcastle rampant. And it could have been 3 soon after, with the Magpies tearing Brentford to shreds. Daniel Bentley in the visiting goal working overtime, but this one wouldn't count. Everyone could see that Jose Perez had steered it in with his hand. The appeals were half-hearted, to say the least. The Bees didn't contribute much in the first half, although Nico Yanaris drew a smart save from Carl Darlow 10 minutes before the interval. Soon after that, it was effectively all over when Gale dispatched his second of the afternoon. Shelvey once again doing all the hard work. Gale's 9th of the season, a mere formality. The Londoner is now the Championship's leading scorer. To their credit, Brentford weren't overwhelmed and even had the last word when Scott Hogan stooped low. But even though there was still more than half an hour left, Newcastle saw the job out with a minimum of fuss.
We have to approach one game at a time, so we have won this one. We don't see what happened in the others, and we will see what happened in the next one. So it's just to concentrate on the next one and don't think about the run or don't think about where we are.
We were competitive for periods in the game, but you know, I think if Newcastle give us a 2-goal lead, then you know, I feel that we could be play with that confidence and the panache that they did at times.
The last 4 meetings between these two sides had ended goalless, but no danger of a ball draw when Bruno's back pass caught out keeper David Stockdale. And Jordan Hugill, a man in form, had his 4th goal in 6 games. Steve Sidwell was the last Brighton player to score against Preston 14 years ago. He started today, but it was Bruno who sent the crossover for Sam Baldock to end that drought with a great flick. Brighton came into this game with 4 wins from their last 5 games. And just over 10 minutes after equalising, they took the lead. Jamie Murphy played in Glenn Murray. The striker on loan from Bournemouth turned smartly to score his 6th of the season. Now, before today, no one had conceded fewer goals at home than Brighton, and they hung on till injury time when Preston's Simon Mackieenock had his 1st league goal since January. A vital point as Simon Grayson's side played the rest of the top 4 before the end of October.
Obviously, the last couple of minutes when you get an equaliser, it feels like a victory for us. You know that we've been tested today against a real strong team. I like Chris's teams, how they play. You know you're under pressure. So to come out with any points today was going to be important and well earned, and I think we've got that today.
Conceded a poor goal, but I thought we were really good in that second half period, and when we got the second goal, I thought very much that would be the winning goal, and a real disappointment to concede so late in the game.
Well, credit to Preston for that stoppage time equaliser, especially with 10 men on the pitch at the time. But Adam, very unlike Brighton conceding 2 goals like that.
Yeah.
They'd only conceded 7 before today's game. How didn't they win this?
Well, I mean, in the final third, they were really, really poor in their decision-making, and this was an absolute calamity goal to give away first time. I think Bruno's put David Stockdale under a lot of pressure, and he should be headering that rather than trying to chest it down. But credit to Preston, they went down to 10 men and they dug in very, very deep, and they picked up a win against Villa, and now they've picked up a draw away at Brighton. It's credible to Simon Grayson's side how they just dug in. Brighton had a lot of the ball but didn't really create too much in that final third, and it's a creditable point for Preston.
And a win for Newcastle today as well. Dwight Gale with 2 goals in that one, Kenny, to make him the Championship top scorer. Now, is he quickly becoming the number 9 that Newcastle fans have been crying out for?
He is. He's a great signing and started the season very well. And keeping him fit is going to be key. But then looking behind him, they have good depth as well in every position. So, you know, really strong start from them and warranted their lead.
It helps having someone like Shelvey, by the way, setting them all up on a plate.
At his best today.
Yeah, he is. I saw him earlier in the season. He was outstanding in his reading of the game. If you give him any type of time on the ball, he can totally dictate the game and create chances.
Norwich, though, winning today, Adam, going top of the table. Wes Hoolahan picking up where he left off, playing for Ireland and impressing there with the pick of the goals.
I mean, he was absolutely superb today, and when Rotherham play away from home, I feel the back four, they drop really, really deep, and he picked up some good positions in that number 10 role. He's an excellent Championship player, and they've got an excellent Championship squad there, and they are going to be right up there towards the end of this season. And I know Pritchard impressed you as well today.
Yeah, he did. He's a really good player, and I think that's his first start as well. So when you have somebody that strong to come into a side that's already winning, it shows you what type of squad they have there. Having said that, it's not easy to come down and then hit the ground running, and you know, both of those sides have managed to do that, and in the first dozen games, put their stamp on the division.
It's over to Huddersfield now.
Yep, we'll see what they can do. We'll be back as well in a break of around about 4 minutes' time. It's been a slightly longer break, though, for this guy, Steve McLaren and Derby County. 17 months after being sacked, he was back in charge for the visit of Leeds.
The FIA World Rally Championship resumes this weekend, with Sébastien Ogier still looking to wrap up a fourth successive title. It won't be easy on the testing mixed road surfaces of Catalonia, a stage that saw him crash out last year. Highlights from the Rally de España are on Channel 5 on Monday at 7 p.m.
And there's more sport coming next Friday. Live boxing from Meadowbank in Edinburgh. The Tartan Tornado Josh Taylor takes on Dave Rocky Ryan from Derby for the vacant Commonwealth Super Lightweight title. Boxing on 5 is from 10 o'clock with the undercard on Spike from 7. Now, after being sacked by Derby County 17 months ago, Steve McLaren says he's very lucky to be back at the club and has some bridges to build with the supporters.
Yeah, his first opponents at the iPro Stadium were Leeds United, who were also the opposition, actually, when he took charge for the first time in his first spell. That was 3 years ago. Your commentator is Paul Walker.
More assured these days, Leeds United on the ball. Look a lot less flustered than they did at the start of the campaign. Now Butterfield thinks about the shot. And again it sails over the top of Rob Green's crossbar. There's a look. It's across the ball. Steve McLaren, by the way, is in the director's box, but ready by the looks of it to head downstairs. He's out of his seat. Now Chris Wood. That's a clever ball from Hernandez to bring Luke Ayling into it. Not a bad cross! And Wood was just lining up his header. But an attack with some promise here. Lifted over the top by Johnson into Vidra! Well, Derby's best chance so far. Good first touch from Vidra. Trying to pull the shot into the far corner. Steve McLaren is down in his technical area now. Plenty of blue shirts forward this time. Sacco is one of them. It's a poor ball into Sacco from Phillips. He's got it regardless. Lowe defends it well. It is a Leeds corner. Mowat to curl it in. Butley! Off the bar from the skipper. And that is it. A real scare at the end of the half as Kyle Bartley slams the woodwork. Leeds United a whisker away from going to the break on top. A thunderbolt of a header from Bartley. Carson was well beaten as well. It's a free header also. This is Bradley Johnson. Vidra setting off far post for him, and the cross wasn't the best, but they'll settle for a corner here, Derby, as it goes off Janssen. This is right in front of the Leeds United fans. This is the end in which Kyle Bartley rattled the crossbar for Leeds right at the end of the first half. Ince fires one in. He'll drop out towards Johnny Russell! What a strike from Johnny Russell! It went through an awful lot of traffic. Johnny Russell with a sweet connection and the sweet feeling of having scored after coming on from the bench. A test of character for his team now. More attacking threat now from a Derby perspective, growing in confidence after the goal scored by this man Johnny Russell. This is Will Hughes. Well, Rob Green was equal to it. It's a good save from Rob Green. Mowat Okay. Looking for Wood. Derby's defence holding firm. Johnny Russell finding Butterfield. Break on here, definitely. Hates Tommins. Vidra in the middle. Vidra! The flag is up. Celebrations cut short by the assistant's flag. Oh, that goal would have made them comfortable. Vidra making the run in between Janssen and Bartley. Only to see the referee's flag deny him a goal. Hernandez finding Antonsen. Wide for OK. Hernandez. OK takes over. This is really good football. One shot from Hernandez, deflects wide. Lovely, intricate football this was. Great skill from OK to find Hernandez. Hernandez. Antonsen up in the box, Bartley's in there as well. Ball back for Hernandez. Sends over a good-looking cross, drops here for Kyle Bartley! And just couldn't generate the power. Comfortable save for Carson in the end. He was in touching distance of kicking off his second spell. What a win. Bartley's in the box. Beyond him, this is Ayling. Back for Antonsen! Oh, off the post! But what about this? Carson beaten all ends up. And the post saves Derby's blushes.
I think second half, apart from their goal that they scored, I think it looked like we could have maybe grown in that game and gone on to something. I think we weathered that euphoria in the first 20 minutes that with a new manager brings an expectant crowd, and we dealt well with it. I just feel, you know, we're disappointed we didn't take something from the game, to be honest.
You know, this club's in my heart. It's where I played, assistant, I managed, and now I'm managing again. And I've got a great affinity with Derby, the club, and I just want to see it back where it should be. So that's why I'm back. First step, many more to go.
Yeah, Leeds finished with a real flourish today, but got nothing. Kenny, Jackett, why have Derby gone back in for a manager they sacked 17 months ago?
Well, he was very successful there. He's unlucky not to get them into the Premier League. And also, they played excellent football under Steve. And they'll be looking for that brand, that attacking style, playing out from the back. They'll be looking for that product again to get them up the table. I certainly don't think they'll be hovering around the relegation places where they are now.
Why do they think things will be different this time?
Because of his past record there, maybe, as he says, his affinity with the club, the connection, hopefully with some good results and good performances, he can pick that up again where they were.
Very pleasing win for Derby today, and this was the goal that did it. Leeds will be a bit annoyed, I guess, about the defending.
Yeah, I mean, they should have someone on the edge of the box for Russell to come in and strike it first time. And he'll probably get a rejuvenation there with McLaren coming in. He played a lot under him on that first time, didn't really play a lot under Pearson, and took his goal really, really well. I honestly thought Leeds were good for a point today, minimum, but as you said there, they dug in and they got those 3 points, and that's massive momentum for Steve McLaren now, because there'll be a section of the crowd that didn't want him back because of the way that it ended, especially with that final game at Reading. But he's here now, he wants to take the club forward. It'd just be interesting to see, without Martin in the sides, a lot of his play went through Martin when he was there. Now he's not there, it's just interesting how that forward line's going to work.
Gary Monk, very upbeat, probably for good reason, Kenny, when you have a look at these chances. Twice they hit the woodwork. They really went for it.
Yeah, excellent performance, and he's done fantastically well there. After a tough first couple of games of the season, Gary, he's got them on track. They look a good side, and they're one of the teams that can come from mid-table and get into the top six. They look capable of it.
Yeah, they've been on a great run. 4 wins in 5, and Gary Monk, a lot of reason for optimism for the way Leeds finish a game. Right, stay with us for more action from the Sky Bet Championship. We're going to see how Neil Warnock kicked off his Cardiff reign in the blood and thunder of a 7-side derby. watching highlights from the Sky Bet Championship on Football on 5. We're going to go to South Wales next, where on Friday night Neil Warnock took charge of Cardiff for the first time in the 7-side derby against Bristol City.
Warnock has wasted no time adding experience to his squad, bringing in 4 new players. 2 of them, Sol Bamba and Junior Hoylett, were in the starting lineup. Your commentators, Andy Hinchcliffe and Gary Weaver.
There's Rawls, who slipped that through for Noon, who's all alone at the moment. Noon goes down, the referee says penalty. Prime with the challenge, he followed Noon all the way over to that side of the pitch, made the challenge. He didn't get the ball, and Cardiff City have a penalty.
There is clear contact. The referee is absolutely right.
Whittingham, never in doubt. And that's the script that Neil Warnock wrote. His big opening night in the Welsh capital is off to the perfect start.
He never really looked like missing Peter Whittingham. With the left foot that he's got, it's an absolute wand.
Well, Cardiff City is a big club which needs a big personality in charge, and Neil Warnock certainly has that. Slipped by Gunnarsson, Bamba trying to pounce. They come up the bar in the end, and then it's forced over the line by Sol Bamba.
Look at Sol Bamba when the initial flick comes in and comes off the crossbar. He's the one anticipating it more than anybody else, wanting to get to the ball and turn it home. Well, it's hard to turn a very poor set piece into a goal, actually. It's a poor ball in from Joe Rawls, flicked on by Gunnarsson.
Simmers has stayed down. He's in need of some attention. Kadeem Harris is ready to come on for Cardiff City. Bristol City playing on. There's Tomlin. It's Tomlin! Bristol City's magician conjures up another special moment, but Cardiff City complaining that Lex Simmers was down. And now things are hotting up on the pitch. Bristol City back in it. Well, now Cardiff City and Bristol City players going toe-to-toe. Cardiff City feeling aggrieved because Lex Simmers was down.
Lands a bit awkwardly. Just looking at Ben Amos's position here as the ball gets played into Lee Tomlin. He's got to sort himself out. He shouldn't be beaten so easily at his near post there. Seems to be caught unawares as the shot comes in. Tomlin about the only one who looked like making something happen for Bristol City.
He is making a name for himself in a management game, Lee Johnson. How does the referee see that? It's got a foul on Lee Tomlin. This is Mark Little. Wolverhampton scored a late goal against Derby County a few weeks ago. Confirmation of the 7 additional minutes. Bristol City on the front foot here. It's fired over the top.
Maybe does Bamba possibly get a touch? Difficult. It's in the eye line of Bobby Reid, but what an opportunity to equalise.
Was that the moment for Bristol City? This now is Freeman. It's Freeman, and that wasn't far away.
He's always moving away. He's probably a couple of yards wide in the end.
It's early, but there's a long way to go. Obviously today was important, it's a good step forward, but we need to keep going. There's only 3 points, it was a derby, it's good for the fan, but we need to keep going.
Well, Neil Warnock back with a bang, and didn't the 4th official know it? Kenny, an instant impact from him, though. What was different about Cardiff City last night?
It was a great start for him, and to get the opening goal with the penalty decision was a big one, because it started off as a tight game, and then the second one from the corner. So 2 set pieces, got their noses in front. I've got to say, though, Bristol City were unlucky not to get back into it. That is a big chance from Bobby Reid there and putting it over the bar. But yeah, great start for Neil Warnock, and a very experienced group of players there, and I'm sure they'll build on that.
What is it about him and his aura that just seems to want to make players give everything?
Yeah, he knows what he wants, he knows how he wants to play, he's very clear on that, and I think that's a strength. But after that, he's very experienced and knows the division inside out, he knows the players, and he has the ability to get the best out of them, as you see last night.
And he's been busy in the free transfer market. One of those signings, Sol Bamba, had a dream debut last night. What did you like about the way he played, Adam?
I just thought he led by example. He was an absolute man mountain, and He's played some games for Leeds this season, so his match fitness would have been there or thereabouts, which is also a good thing for Neil. But his positioning sense, and that's where the experience comes in, and I think he's an excellent signing, and he's a leader. And he knows Neil Warnock, so he'll know what he'll want from the manager, and he'll pass that on to the players when the manager's not about, and that's important. And to get yourself a goal as well, I mean, the Cardiff players would have been low.
That's his range.
Exactly. My range as well. I'd have probably missed. But I think when the player's confidence is low and he's bringing in free transfers outside the transfer window, of course, and he's bringing in goals and he's bringing in confidence, it's a massive, massive help for them.
Not many have kept Tammy Abraham quiet this season, that's for sure. OK, our next roundup also starts with two teams in action on Friday night. Birmingham City travel to the City Ground, having lost only once in their first 11 games.
Well, the hosts, Nottingham Forest, may soon have a new owner, with Fawaz Al-Hassawi looking to seal a deal to sell the club to a consortium led by the American millionaire John J. Moores.
And perhaps Henry Lansbury was trying to impress those prospective new owners as he curled in this delightful free kick. It was a beautiful strike which would have impressed anyone, except, crucially, the referee's assistant. That one didn't count, but this one did. Nicholas Bentner with the cross, which set up Eric Lehigh for the defender's first goal in almost a year. That, however, was pretty much Bentner's final contribution. Shortly afterwards, the Dane was involved in an innocuous-looking collision with Michael Morrison. Bentner, in obvious pain after landing heavily on his ankle, needed oxygen as he left on a stretcher to a standing ovation. The home side extended their lead just past the hour mark. Lansbury with the teasing cross, and Apostolos Velios reacting quickest to steer the ball into the back of the net. Forest on course for a first win since August. The Blues could have gone second in the table with victory, but the only time they really threatened was 20 minutes from time, when Lukas Djukovic rose highest at the far post, where his header did just enough to get his side back into it. But there were no complaints from Birmingham boss Gary Rowett, who admitted that Forest deserved the win. A victory sealed 7 minutes from time thanks to Gilberto Pereira, who not only started the move with a surging run, but also finished it too with a confident first-time effort. Certainly a performance to help seal the strongly rumoured sale.
With the club's endorsement ringing in his ears after an internal investigation into corruption allegations, Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank could focus on orchestrating a first QPR home win since the opening day of the season. And when Olamide Shodipo set up Pavel Fashoek's first goal for the club, all was well in the Rangers' world. Well, it was, for around 7 minutes, which is how long it took Reading to restore parity. Gareth McCleary combining with Danny Williams, and that was job done, 1-1. If only Sebastian Polter had been as deadly with his header, it might have been a different story. Instead, the German was left to ponder missed opportunities. As were the visitors, who threatened to make it 3 wins out of 4 on their recent travels. Roy Beeran's effort was good, but Alex Smithies was better. Hasselbank just happy to be concentrating on matters on the pitch.
I'm very happy with the support of the club, the fans, my team, the players and all that kind of stuff, you know. But for me, it was business as usual today.
Barnsley's strong start to the season has stuttered of late. 3 defeats in their last 4. They were out of the blocks fast here, though. Marley Watkins putting them in front in just the 4th minute. Fulham hadn't even managed to score at Oakwell since 1982, but they were creating chances here, and Scott Malone found Lucas Piazon on loan from Chelsea to score his first league goal for the club. Just 1 point in their last 4 games for Barnsley, and without skipper Conor Hourihane. His replacement, Sam Morsey, was again involved, feeding Sam Winall. Now, he may have been urging calm, but Barnsley couldn't hold on till half-time, as straight from the restart, Fulham were level again. Malone's pass, Stefan Johansson's flick, and Sonny Aluko had his second of the season. Barely time to catch your breath at Oakwell. A minute into the second half, whether Malone meant this is up for debate. But Fulham had the lead, and he had his first goal of 2016. A lot of talk of why Chris Martin was picked for Scotland when he's not scored at club level since April. Well, that drought came to an end here. Malone again with the assist for Martin to make it 4-2 to Fulham. And Barnsley's hopes of a comeback weren't helped when Josh Scowen was sent off for this challenge on Scott Parker. Paul Heckingbottom doubted it was a red, but Fulham had their first league win since August, their first at Oakwell since 1970.
It's a great tackle, he's won the ball. He may have gone over it, I've been told in there, but that's what the ref's saying, he's gone over the ball, but he definitely made contact first.
My team showed great character and great attitude, ambition, and we scored 4 goals at the end. In the global, we are very satisfied with our performance today.
Quite a game, that one. We'll have a look at the red card again in just a moment. Fulham, first of all, Chris Martin with what I think is first in 21, his 100th league goal. What needs to be different, Kenny, for Fulham this season to be competing at the right end of the Championship?
Fulham play as good a football as anybody in the division, and they can really hurt you with some real good quality play. Last year they just gave away too many goals and had some of the best forwards in the division. Both of those have changed. McCormack and Dembele have gone, and now bringing in Chris Martin I think is a good move. He's the type of striker that's experienced in the Championship. He's very good, and he can go on the type of run that can get him up the division.
So they've got to replace all those goals and defend a bit better. Easy as that.
Yeah, defensively off the ball they've got to be better.
Let's have a look at the red card. Josh Cowan, was this reckless, malicious, or was this a heavy touch?
It's the heavy touch, and when you're stretching for it, and if you see the referee's angle as well, for me, I think that is a red card. And when you go diving in like that and you're not in control, you do get a red card nowadays in the game. It can be given very, very easily.
Would you have been surprised if that was a yellow rather than a red?
No, I think sometimes you can see the intent or the aggression now. That can be misinterpreted because, players have to be committed. But sometimes when it does look overly aggressive, referees react on that.
All right, 2 more matches to bring you next. We're going to start with the teams that came up together, actually, from League One last season.
Yeah, Burton Albion have made a better start to the Championship than their host Wigan, being 4 points and 6 places better off before they met at the DW.
With just 1 win in their previous 9 matches, the last thing Wigan wanted was to give Burton a goal, which is almost what keeper Adam Bogdan did. Chris O'Grady thought he'd capitalise, but Dan Burn had other ideas. The home side have found goals hard to come by lately, just 2 in their last 4, and Nick Powell knows he won't get many better chances than that. Max Power hit a pass worthy of his name, matched by terrific technique from Michael Jacobs, who seemed to have the goal at his mercy. But despite top-class trickery, the finish was still missing. Winning matches is a habit that Burton, like Wigan, have lost in recent times, and Tom Naylor so nearly changed all that, but couldn't, which sort of summed up the match.
If it's goals you're after, well, Ipswich probably isn't the team for you. Scoreless in 5 now after this stalemate, although Adam Webster did his best, only to be foiled point-blank by Jason Steele. The saving grace for Mick McCarthy's men is that they don't let many in either. Bartosz Bielkowski in the away goal wasn't overworked, but had to be alert to deny Danny Guthrie. With chances at a premium, Blackburn's Craig Conway decided to sling a cross into his own penalty area for some reason. Could Ipswich take advantage? Well, you probably know the answer already. Freddie Sears foiled by Steele, Tom Lawrence making a horrible hash of the follow-up. Blackburn's first clean sheet of the season, hardly cause for celebration, though. At the other end, Ben Marshall summed up their lack of potency. Rovers second bottom in the table. The Tractor Boys stuck in neutral, not far above them.
Sadly, we're not the most prolific team in front of goal at the minute, but we've had 4 clean sheets in 6. It's not that we're working on defending all the time, in fact, quite the opposite.
Rotherham stay bottom of the league then. They're now 3 points adrift of Blackburn. Wigan drop into the relegation zone, while Cardiff are up into 21st and are now level on points with Aston Villa.
Here's the other end of the table. Norwich City are top, a point clear of Newcastle and Huddersfield. The Terriers play Sheffield Wednesday on Sunday. Brighton stay 4th, Bristol City 5th. Birmingham complete those playoff spots.
Stay with us for Goal Rush from Sky Bet Leagues 1 and 2, where pigs stop play at the Valley as Charlton and Coventry fans join forces to protest against their owners.
Welcome to Goal Rush on Football and 5. We're going to start in Sky Bet League 1 with free scoring, table-topping Scunthorpe.
But their opponents at Glanford Park today, MK Dons, had the joint best away record in the division heading into the weekend.
peerless on the road, but MK Dons' home defeat last weekend saw them overtaken by AFC Wimbledon for the first time. They continued their strong away run when Kieran Agard scored his 5th of the season. Scunthorpe haven't been beaten at home in 2016, and just after the hour, Graham Alexander brought on Kevin Van Veen and Paddy Madden. That paid off almost immediately as Van Veen's effort spilled by David Martin and Madden pounced. Top of the table, but the iron would be further clear if they hadn't drawn their last 3 home games. The top scorer in England, Josh Morris, turned provider for Madden to score his 2nd of the day and send Scunthorpe 4 points clear.
Oxford suffered their first home league defeat of the season last Sunday against Wimbledon, and when the ref awarded Bradford a hotly contested spot kick, they would have been fearing the worst once again. Billy Clark looking for his 3rd goal in 4 league games, out of luck for so far unbeaten Bradford City. And that superb start to a season was to be bruised a little further when Chris Maguire curled home his 6th league goal of the season for Oxford. There was to be some late controversy when Roman Vansalo went down in the Oxford box, but this time the ref wasn't quite so generous, and Bradford's unbeaten start to the season was over.
A bad-tempered M66 derby saw Rochdale overtake Bury in the table. A first-half penalty helped them on their way, Matthew Lund's trickery forcing Jacob Mellis to bring him down. Ian Henderson netted his 6th goal in all competitions from the spot. In the second half, Rochdale made sure of their 6th league win in a row when Andy Cannon's pass was collected by Nathaniel Mendes-Lang, who fired past Ben Williams. Referee Banks got writer's cramp late on with 6 bookings and 2 red cards. Keane Bryan first to go for a rash challenge on Cannon. It all got a bit heated as local rivalry spilled over. Bury then went down to 9 men after Mellis got a 2nd yellow card for bringing down Calvin Andrew. The Shakers well and truly shaken. The game ended on a sour note for them, a sweet one for Dale.
There's no stopping Sheffield United or their new cult hero Ethan Ebanks-Landell. The centre-half on loan from Wolves is already a fan favourite for his no-nonsense defending. Now he's wreaking havoc at the other end as well. A double for the double-barrelled big man in a first half of total home dominance. That's 3 in his last 2 league matches. No wonder United fans are desperate for the loan deal to be made permanent. Vale came into this one in 4th place, but when they were caught on the counter just after the hour mark, there was no way back for them. Heroics from Ben Purkis on the line to thwart Billy Sharp, but when the rebound falls like that from Mark Duffy, you know it's not going to be your day. Not a happy return then for Bruno Ribeiro, once a United player, now Vale's manager. His misery completed by a Scottish stub, Stefan Skugel. The Blades were bottom of the table in August, now they're unbeaten in 8 and looking lethal.
Oldham Athletic were looking for their first win at Bolton since 1982, but they were dealt a blow in their efforts early on. Zach Clough had the Trotters making strides in the first half with a sublime free kick. Clough caught several eyes last season, and with 10 minutes remaining he scored again, despite Oldham's best efforts. Persistence paying off. Perhaps those watching eyes may become even more observant. Bolton up to 3rd.
The fearsome Millwall Lion has been a bit of a pussycat lately. A run of 4 league defeats ended though at Sixfields. Lee Gregory keeping his feet and composure for his 4th league goal this season. Northampton's excellent season was further marred when Jack McCourt picked up a 2nd yellow card for this ugly challenge on Fred Onyedinma. Ref Ben Toner wasn't impressed. Millwall's 2nd goal was handed to them on a plate. Brendan Maloney making a real mess of dealing with Callum Butcher. The travelling fans could hardly believe their luck. Rob Page's side got back into the game when a cross from Sam Hoskins was perfectly met by sub Mark Richards. The fight back though didn't last long. A Route 1 goal started with Jordan Archer's hoof clearance, Steve Morrison using all his experience to pierce the home defence again. Neil Harris at last with a good day at the office.
Great win for Millwall, your former club, and they needed that after 2 points from their last 6 games. But Sheffield United are on this terrific match of 8 unbeaten now. And they found a new goal scorer, a guy you had at Wolves.
Yeah, he's got 3 goals in the last couple of weeks, but he is very, very good in the other side's box, and he's got vital goals along the way. He's a good player, Ethan, very, very good player. He was just unlucky at Wolves at vital times with injuries, and quite major injuries as well. And if he can get over those, which he is now, then he'll have a very good future, and a terrific signing by Chris Wilder.
Is he a defender, or does he want to play there?
He is a defender. He's a very, very good one, but he would back himself to get on the end of things in the other team's box, and that's a very, very good quality to have.
I mentioned Millwall, your former club. What's your next club going to be? Where are you in terms of your next challenge?
Yeah, we'll see. I'm looking forward to getting back into the game and, as you say, taking on the next challenge.
Are you holding out for a Championship club?
No, not particularly. I'm open-minded and, you know, want somewhere where, you know, I feel I can work to my strengths and to what I can do and what I can bring to a club. So, no, I'm totally open-minded and looking forward to wherever that challenge may be.
We talk a lot about what a club looks for in a manager. When you're out of work as a manager, what do you look for in a club? What makes you think, yeah, that's my next challenge?
Possibly a club that you feel has underachieved, somewhere where you can make a difference, and you know, you can see it clearly that when you come in, there's certain things that you can implement straight away that can help that club, and then it's, you know, number one, going to help the club, but obviously then help yourself in your own career as well.
Absolutely. OK, now for 2 former Premier League teams languishing in the lower reaches of League One with 2 sets of very unhappy fans.
Yes, that's an understatement, I would say. Charlton and Coventry fans marched to the Valley together in a joint protest against the owners of both clubs, Roland Duchâtelet of Charlton and Sisu of Coventry City. With Charlton in 18th place and Coventry bottom, there were statements to be made on the pitch as well.
The first statement at this one at the Valley saw pigs actually fly. 3,000 plastic pigs rained onto the pitch in a bizarre protest by both sets of fans. Ref Darren Dedman took the players off for 6 minutes as the crowd vented their fury. When the match restarted, it was Charlton notching up their first victory in nearly 2 months. A lob into the box by Frederik Ulverstad, a beautiful take and finish from Ricky Holmes, his 3rd league goal this season. The Charlton keeper Declan Rudd kept them in the game with a double save, initially from Chris McCann, then from his own defender, who deflected the ball goalwards. In the second half, Charlton added 2 more. Josh McGuinness with an assist for England under-21 international Ademola Lookman. Coventry remain rock bottom, their misery complete, when Ulverstad opened up their defence and the tireless McGuinness added a 3rd.
I understand the fans' frustration. This is a great club. We shouldn't be in this league lingering halfway down the table. I get that, and me and my staff are working really hard to try and do that. But look, it doesn't happen overnight.
Amadou Bakayoko rattled a hat-trick for Walsall in the Football League trophy back in August. But he's had to wait 23 games for this his first league goal. The Saddlers 1 up midway through the first half after a really composed finish. But the lead lasted just 7 minutes. Managerless Shrewsbury on terms through Oliver Lancashire, the defender's first Shrews goal coming against his former club. A glimmer of light for Shrewsbury, but just before the break, Walsall were back in front. Kieran Morris from close range. Still, the home fans had seen their side concede 11 goals this season, the worst in League One. And it would have been no surprise to them when Junior Brown restored equality for the 2nd time. But the game swung back in Walsall's favour when Shrewsbury's Ryan McGibbon picked up a 2nd yellow card following an altercation with Bakayoko. And the news got worse for Shrewsbury with just 2 minutes left to play. Erhan Ostuma sealed a 9th win in the last 10 home matches against Shrewsbury. The Celebs were understandably gleeful, but the ref felt Bakayoko had overdone it, and off he went as well.
It's only October, but you'd be forgiven for labelling this a 6-pointer already. With Chesterfield hovering just above the bottom 4, Southend find themselves in. Points were needed, and Phil Brown's men struck first through Northern Irishman Adam Thompson. The only real chance for the Spyrites fell to Christian Dennis, who was unable in front of goal. This a result that sees Southend leapfrog Chesterfield, who plummet into the league's basement.
With 3 wins in 9 days, AFC Wimbledon were flying high, which is also what Tom Elliott did following a tackle from Connor Thomas. Referee John Busby was in no doubt, even if Swindon were unconvinced. But salvation was waiting around the corner as Lyle Taylor's penalty was well saved by Lawrence Vigouroux to earn his side a point.
Gillingham ended up losing at home to then bottom club Oldham last weekend, having taken an early lead. So they would have been taking nothing for granted when Josh Wright opened the scoring against Bristol Rovers. But the Pirates haven't secured back-to-back promotions without showing real character. And 8 minutes from time they were level. Chris Lyons exchanging passes with Matt Taylor before showing delightful composure one-on-one with the Gills keeper. And Rovers grabbed a winner in the dying moments. Ellis Harrison completing a magnificent late comeback.
Fleetwood Town had been in precarious form heading into this one with no win in 6. But luck finally seemed to be on their side. Jack Sowerby's first start of the season produced a moment to savour his first senior strike. Fleetwood, looking comfortable, made it 2 in the second half. Bobby Grant firmly involved, but the wrong sort of headline here fell to Jack Baldwin. A third and final chance fell to Devante Cole, and Dad Andrew may very well have done better here. The bar well rattled, as were Peterborough United.
So that result sees Fleetwood move up to 13th. Coventry stay bottom of the league, a point off Shrewsbury. Oldham drop to 22nd and Chesterfield join them in the relegation zone.
At the top of the table, Scunthorpe, there they are, 4 points clear of Bradford in second. Bolton are 2 points further back, while a 6th straight win sees Rochdale move up to 4th. Sheffield United are now 5th on that great run, and Bury drop to 6th.
So a unique protest, pigs literally flying at the Valley today. Coventry and Charlton fans getting together to try and make their voices heard. Adam, could we be seeing the start of something new here with fans uniting like that, trying to get their message across?
Yeah, I mean, I had a similar situation at Brighton back in '96 when they were going through a similar thing with their chairman. Football clubs do come together, and I know football fans get a lot of bad press sometimes, but they are unique and they do come together in this need. And I had a good year at Coventry, and I do worry for them. I think they are in a worse situation than Charlton, but Charlton have got a good manager in Russell Slade.
Is he the right man to get them out of this?
100%. He's a good man manager, and he'll get the best out of those players given time.
OK, stay with us for all the League 2 action. That's coming up next, including a ding-dong in the Dockyard Derby as Plymouth and Portsmouth slugged it out on the south coast.
This is Goal Rush on Football on 5, where the big game in Sky Bet League 2 saw the pace setters Plymouth host Portsmouth in what was a rematch of last season's playoff semi-final.
Argyle were the victors back in May before suffering heartbreak at Wembley. Portsmouth arrived at Home Park with a score to settle and an 8-point gap to reduce.
Mission Pompey payback didn't get off to the best start at Home Park. Just 21 minutes on the clock when Jan Songo decided it was the perfect moment to open his Plymouth account. But Portsmouth rolled up their sleeves and made a scrap of it. First Connor Chaplin and then Kyle Bennett, proving simply unstoppable. The Home Park faithful were temporarily silent and the home side on the back foot, but they regrouped and might have regained the initiative when Graham Carey seemed to have done everything right. Well, almost. That may have convinced the visitors that Lady Luck was sitting on their shoulders this time, so you can imagine the joy in the Portsmouth end when Paul Cook's side went in front. And oh, the irony, with just 4 minutes to go, Danny Rose with a screamer which definitely crossed the line and banished the pain of their injury-time defeat in Devon last May. But once again, this 100th Dockyard Derby had a grandstand finish in store, and not one that Pompey will relish seeing again. Substitute Connor Smith, the Pilgrims' hero, with another late show that might just haunt Pompey all the way back up the south coast.
Today, was about, not losing the game, and we've taken a point. We've kept our unbeaten run going to 11 games now, and that's an important aspect for us.
So, a great entertaining game at Home Park. The two sides, though, could not be separated. Next, we're at the Keepmoat Stadium for the meeting of two of last season's relegated teams.
Doncaster have been in decent form. They started today in second, while down in 13th. Colchester have found it a little tougher to adapt to their new surroundings.
Doncaster maintain their promotion push with a third straight league win, courtesy of the only goal of the game in first half stoppage time. Tommy Rowe with his fourth of the season. In contrast, Colchester were guilty of not taking their chances, and the defeat extends their winless run to 6 matches. It could have been worse too, but with some last-ditch defending from Richard Brindley, here thwarting John Marquis. 1 goal, good enough for 3 points.
12 games is already Carlisle's longest unbeaten start to a season in league football. Avoid defeat today, and they'd equal the one they set in the conference. They had the lead when Jabaruberi had his third in 4 games. Sean Miller had had a hand in Carlisle's opening goal, but using his hand here earned him a second yellow. The Cumbrians would be 1 man down for the last half hour. 10 minutes later, Hartlepool, unbeaten in their last 3 on the road, made that extra man count. Jake Carroll's block shot found Luis Alessandra to score for the second time in a week. But they were only level for 2 minutes. Nicky Adams' short free kick to Danny Granger, who fired home his third in as many games. Hartlepool boss Craig Hignett still serving a touchline ban and admits their own unbeaten run has left them a little boring. No danger of that here. Puric Amond with their second equaliser. But Granger's corner found Michael Rains to score the winner for Carlisle on his birthday. A third league win on the trot and their longest ever unbeaten start.
Luton's stylish attacking midfielder Cameron McGeehan has been in terrific form once again this season. And after a fast, slick move from his teammates, he was in the right place as usual when Alex Cisak in the home goal spilled the ball inside the 6-yard box. The only Hatters player to have scored more this campaign is Danny Hilton. And following splendid work from Jack Marriott, he took aim before zipping his side into a 2-goal lead. His 8th league goal of the season. How Orient could do with a bit of punch up front themselves. Ollie Palmer gave them a little hope, but they couldn't break through again. And it's 3 consecutive defeats for new boss Alberto Cavasin. His side now just goal difference above the bottom 2.
The Robins feeling a good deal perkier tonight with just 1 league win all season. They badly needed another. Just 3 minutes gone and birthday boy Billy Waters latched onto a through ball to give them the lead. Gary Johnson's side looked good value for that lead and might have had another goal here. A volley from Jordan Cranston hit the post and rolled along the line. Cheltenham's second goal did come though when Jack Barthram played in Daniel Wright. Waters tried his luck only to see Mark Connolly head off the line. Jack Munzo netted his first league goal this season. To their credit, Crawley kept on fighting, and after a patient build-up, Cabby Dijalo made it a squeaky last 15 minutes for the home side and their fans.
Last year, Jim Bentley's men flirted with relegation out of the Football League, and after today's showing, they may very well be heading for a date with uncertainty again. Stevenage snatched the lead through Matt Godden's third of the season, and it turned out to be the charm the away side needed. And there was more to come. Step up 19-year-old Ben Kennedy to steal the show with a bludgeon drive and a goal to make sure of the points. The Giant Embers saw Morecambe presented a chance from the penalty spot. The ball clipping the arms of Charlie Lee after a brief moment of uncertainty. A penalty was awarded. From the penalty spot, Paul Mullin had the chance to break his personal deadlock for the afternoon, but this miss just about summing up Morecambe's day. Stevenage climbed to 18th.
So Carlisle now the only side unbeaten in the EFL, 13 games unbeaten. Kenny, what do you think of the way Keith Curle has them playing?
Yeah, excellent. They're a very good team. Keith's done a fantastic job last season and this year, and they've started off very well. They're in there amongst some big boys. Plymouth, Portsmouth, Luton have big budgets and good crowds, so you know they're overachieving and doing very well.
Is it about how well they've bought, Adam?
Yeah, brilliant signings from Keith Curle. Granger coming in. Rain's centre-half. Nicky Adams, who they brought in as well, he's an excellent midfielder, great movement. He's got good experience with Northampton and Crawley, and he's got a good forward line to choose from that's scoring plenty of goals.
Right, 6 more matches to bring you now. Graham Wesley may have only officially taken charge of Newport County on Monday, but forward Sean Rigg has already described training under the new boss as a shock to the system.
Yeah, the Exiles were hoping their new fitness regime would pay dividends when they travel to Yeovil.
Wesley is confident he can keep Newport up. He's going to need more than shuttle runs and press-ups. Yeovil had the better of the chances here. Ryan Hedges' header, the pick of them in the first half. Newport had just 2 shots on target, but it was Yeovil, with 3 wins from 5, who edged this one, thanks to an own goal from Dan Butler. The Exiles are winless in 9. Wesley needs to turn that around and fast. They're now 5 points from safety.
When you're at the bottom, you tend to be there for a reason. You tend to be there because the margins are just going against you. I think I've got a lot of players in there who will be good players, who may be making slight errors at the moment, but with a little bit of coaching, I think we can become a very good League Two side.
If it wasn't for top scorer John Akinde, Barnet would be in even bigger trouble near the bottom of League Two. But all seemed to be going just fine when the powerful number 9 thumped them in front. But what followed was astonishing as the home side crumbled against the lowest scorers in the division. The equaliser arriving from Jake Taylor just before the break. They say it's a bad time to concede, and you sense Barnet needed to dig in. But within 5 minutes of the restart, Lee Holmes scampered in to finish under Jamie Stevens. Exeter hadn't won or scored in their 3 previous league games, but the points were heading for the West Country when Stevens dropped the ball at the feet of David Wheeler. Barnet were disappearing without trace, but they were hard done by on the final goal. Mauro Violetta's challenge on Taylor appeared to be just outside the box, but the ref was pointing to the spot. And Ruben Reid, who completed the short journey from Plymouth last month, tucked away his first Grecians goal to complete an emphatic comeback.
At Notts County, we had to wait 80 minutes for a goal, then 2 came along together. First, the home side broke a dull deadlock when Adam Campbell set up Jonathan Fort, who confidently dispatched his 4th league goal of the season. But almost from the restart, Crewe were level. Chelsea loanee Alex Kiwomya came off the bench for his 5th of the campaign, and this one would have been particularly sweet. His uncle Chris had once been manager of County, only to leave by mutual consent 3 years ago. A point apiece then, and Kiwomya family pride duly restored.
Like fine wine, Wycombe haven't travelled too well lately. No away win in 15 league matches, so this flying move was a welcome one. Michael Harriman and Paul Hayes combining, Matt Bloomfield scoring his 2nd league goal of the season. It was all going so well for Gareth Ainsworth's side until 9 minutes from time. Malvin Bennin with this cross, a suspicion of a shove from Matt Green, who went on to grab an unlikely home point.
Cambridge United came into this one unbeaten in 4 in the league, but it was a happy away day for Grimsby Town, who swiftly pushed aside Sean Derry's men. James Berrett's first goal for the club, giving Grimsby the lead in the 26th minute. And they came close again through a sumptuous effort from Ashley Chambers, clipping the woodwork. Cambridge had chances to level things up after good work down the right-hand side. This opportunity fell to Adam McGurk, yet to score this season and still struggling to find his touch in front of goal.
A first meeting in the Football League for these two sides, and it was Blackpool who took the lead. Michael Caine blowing the doors off with his first league goal since January last year. Fans of symmetry will have been drawn to Stanley. 1-2, drawn 2, lost 2, home and away. And they had the chance to equalise when Tom Aldred pushed Romy Boko, who was to have a decisive late impact in this game. He made it 1-1 in the 89th minute. And then in the 4th minute of injury time, he got on the end of a Sean McConville cross to secure all 3 points and put Stanley into the playoff spots.
That result sees Blackpool drop to 17th. Newport stayed bottom of the EFL. They're now joined in the drop zone by Barnet, who are 5 points better off. Leyton Orient are above the relegation places on goal difference.
Here is the other end. Plymouth lead over Doncaster at the top. That is trimmed to 3 points. Unbeaten Carlisle stay third. Luton move up to fourth, and Portsmouth, Grimsby and Accrington occupy the other playoff positions.
Well, that's it from us tonight. Our thanks go to Adam and to Kenny. Been great to have you here, Kenny, but we hope to see you back in management very soon.
Thank you.
Yes, good luck, Kenny. 3 big-name bosses stepped back into the Championship cauldron this weekend. There were wins for 2, but no Brucey bonus for Steve, as Villa escape with a draw. See you next time. Good night.